Laura, we are at a time when half the population say they can't afford the basics. We've been talking for weeks, haven't we, about minor adjustments, cancelling Netflix. What's the latest thing people are up to?
Well, people continue to be obsessed with food, grocery shopping. I think there's an element there where you feel kind of in control in the moment. And I think some of the things that they're watching for there are just reaching new heights.
Yeah. Trading down in particular?
Trading down, really thinking about how they're shopping, really thinking about what they can, how they can make meals kind of more cheaply.
Element of fun involved in some of that, I think.
There is an element of fun involved in some of that. I am sceptical about how long that fun is actually going to last.
Yeah.
People in the community that I speak to every single week, there was a bit of energy around that. The moment you find a bargain, it's got real sort of spark to it, but week in, week out, that becomes draining.
But the big concerns are
energy. Of course, huge. And again, that's something that keeps kind of moving to new heights. I've had people in the community just over the last week talk to me about they're trying to do one less washing machine wash a week, and over a year they think that's going to save them 30 quid. Yeah. People talking about boiling kettles and leaving it in a flask, things like that. So really just seeking as many hacks as possible, I think.
Laura, it's fair to say, isn't it, high on people's radar is energy, fuel and food costs. There's something happening in April that people have got very little visibility of.
Yeah, of course, the national insurance hike. And we know from our data that actually very few people have been informed of that.
Yeah, and so just as they've got to find on average £80 more for those things we just mentioned, on average losing £18 income. That's a difficult combo, isn't it?
It absolutely is. And this is this sensation that consumers talk about feeling squeezed and then squeezed again and squeezed again. And we are about to have one in a couple of weeks. A lot of the nation will feel that moment. It will be another surge, another spike in concern.
And a switching behaviour, I think, around that point.
Yeah.
Is it fair to say that all income groups are as worried about this?
They're all concerned about it, absolutely.
What would be their concern?
They're concerned about inflation. They're concerned about what it means for the economy.
Yeah.
The difference would be how it impacts me on my own. And I think that there's different groups on disposable income. And I think those that are really stretched are looking for how they square the circle. Those who aren't stretched are looking at those groups of people, and it's almost creating
this is what I think psychologists would call contrast bias, isn't it?
Yes, exactly that. They are looking at those groups of people, hearing those sorts of stories and thinking, well, things aren't that, but we're very lucky, aren't we?
Okay.
Yeah. And I think that then causes a bit of a kind of delay in change of behaviour and those sorts of things. So the squeeze and the trip could be yet to come for those sorts of groups. But I think it's really interesting. We talk a lot about how important contrast bias is, and I think this is exactly what we're
really
seeing right
important,
now.
I think, yeah. And absolutely, and the numbers, higher income groups really surprisingly feeling okay about their own finances.
Yeah.
How long for?
Well, that is the big question, isn't it?